Another week. Wow, isn't it? Good grief, Leeds. Like the bloody Sahara today.
This is tropical weather over in the north.
I thought I was a northerner, but this is a bit further up.
Well, listen, especially in the barber house as well, it's always red up here, especially when Johnny Barber's in the house as well. So we've got a fantastic show coming up. It's the first time we've gone live. Guys, another over 100,000 views again.
I know, 109,000 views from last week. Unbelievable. Fantastic.
So, thanks for the 108,000 that tuned in to watch me and the 1,000 that tuned in to watch guys. He's really appreciative of the followers that is getting on Barbers' Arms. Episode 18, here we are, live for the first time. We promised you at the start of lockdown that we'd come out live. And we picked a perfect bar for you to do this. We're in Barber in Leeds with our fantastic host, Mr. Johnny Barber, and his fantastic chain of salons. We're in the Leeds one that's been here 5 years, and we're in the Barber Bar. We've even got his own barman as well. We've got Dan here on the bar, which is fantastic.
Anyway, cheers, mate. What are you drinking today?
I'm having a little cider, little fruit cider.
Ah, lovely.
Nice and sunny.
I've got a London Pale Ale. It's English. I always buy English at the moment. I'm trying just support the economy and everything else. Oh. We are social distance everybody as well, and this bar is not open to the public. If anybody's going to ring in and give us any stick, so we've covered all bases. My best mate here again on a Friday night. We are actually out. I can't believe it.
It's nice as well. I think tonight's going to be the real test, especially when we start with shots and there's little cocktails that you drink. There's no fannying tonight. I've got to drink them live in front of guys, otherwise it's going to tell me off. There's no after party either, is there? Because of all this social distancing. Mind you, I have been out in Leeds City Centre today and had a look, and it looked fantastic on Green Street. It looks amazing on Albion, the place where we are at the minute. Yeah. Everybody's out having a great time. Hopefully doing the right thing as well.
Yeah. Have we got Johnny about? Where is Johnny? We're going to get him in, our landlord, if you like, for today. He's our host. Hello, sir.
How are we?
Loving your place. Absolutely fantastic.
My pleasure.
I'd offer you a drink, but I know you don't partake these days.
No. 11 years now.
11 years. Testament to you, mate.
11 years. He stopped drinking when he was 7, so he's done really well. As you can see, dropping all that.
See my complexion.
Seen his complexion and everything as well.
So Simon's age.
So I have aged over lockdown, to be fair. I've been locked in. No travelling up until probably 2021 now for me, actually.
Do you know what? I thought about that when we had literally 5 minutes in the shower tonight. Not together, by the way.
10 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes outside, 10 minutes in the shower. Nice to be in a hotel again.
Nice to be in a hotel. It's a little bit different. Obviously, some of the hotels are just capacity is half of the rooms are only going to be up. And if you've stayed in hotels, you probably know, guys, that only half of the rooms, because it's 24 hours after somebody's been in the room. Which is probably a bit more like after we've been to an exhibition that some of the rooms aren't vacated for 24 hours. Because they're staying.
Johnny, before we don't run off, just give us a bit of history about this one. How long have you had this one?
This one is 5 years now.
5 years?
Yeah.
Fantastic venue. You're going to see inside the barbershop in a minute when we have the hot seats. We're going to have some fantastic guests tonight. People that we've wanted in the hot seat for a long time. Some regulars that you've seen before, but also some new guests, which is great to see. And we're going to put them in the barber's chair to grill them.
Yeah, and I think it's best thing as well. We've got downstairs, we've got a fantastic shop downstairs, and it's going to be great, especially from a social distancing point of view. It's going to be easy to do that instead of beer. But welcome to episode 18. As we've just said, over another 100,000 people tuned in to last week. So I think over lockdown now, this is the first show we've come out live, but over 3 million people have tuned in to Barbers' Arms. I was in my local pub last Sunday, and some guys came up to me. I don't know them, but they're not barbers, they're like in the building trade. And they came up and said, "We've been tuning into Barbers' Arms. It's a real good crack. It's really good. You carry Gary really well." And they said, be all right. I'm a bit off tomorrow morning. I'm in Leeds. There's lots of cosmetic surgery places in Leeds. And you can see Johnny's now looking really, really well.
See you, Johnny.
But we're going to see Johnny in a short while as well. But guys, don't forget as well, you can have a look on our we've got some great stuff coming up on Barbers' Arms. We've got some education that's going to be coming up on the 6th of September. Which we kind of launched last week. That's going to be coming next in the next few weeks. But you can see the details now coming up on your screens. Log in, just put I'm in. You can actually register now as well on our website, which is thebarbersarms.co.uk. You can actually register for the education. We've got some great educators coming up on that, guys. We've got me and Jew.
Yeah.
Sam Campagna.
Eric Lander.
Eric Lander. Michael Damiano.
Yeah.
These are all going, and Joth Davies. We've all got these people coming up live on our education, which is on the 6th of September. Really
All day. So from 11 till 4, join us. All those memberships out there, BBA members, you'll be getting this info sent to you. If you want to join, it's free to join. Register all your details. We've got a huge amount of stuff coming on in the future as well. So international education as well, which I can't say anything about because I'll get shot by Simon and our producer. So that is coming on later in September as well. So please stay tuned and register as much as you possibly can. Anybody you want who needs to get into this, into education, please let them know, and you just got to register and it's all free.
Yes, we've got a great show coming up tonight. Around about 2 or 3 minutes time, we've got a guy who was a professional footballer and he changed his goalkeeping gloves for his hairdressing and barbering gloves to open up G27. I've watched Matt's career. I met him a couple of years ago in Manchester. We're just walking away from an exhibition. He's this boy shout, "Simon, come over, have a beer." He sat down with our team, and ever since that, I've watched a bit of what he's done. Obviously, being a big football fan, and my son being a footballer as well, I've kind of liked what the transition between footballers going into barbering, and Matt's going to talk to us a little bit about how his transition worked from over 600 league appearances, you know, playing for Huddersfield and Halifax and loads of it. We'll let him talk a little bit about that, but I want to know about the transition from football into barbering. And also as well, there's lots of ex-footballers who are going into this industry, this fantastic industry.
I want to know all the data as well. That's right. I want to know what goes in the changing room.
Well,
you know,
I thought
fluffers and
I
things
thought
like
we're doing really well myself today until we dropped that he just had an afternoon filling his swimming pool at home. So that put me off a little bit. I thought I'd been all right till he dropped that one. Been a busy day. Well, I've been filling my swimming pool at home. All right. Same thing when you're filling your optimal, I suppose, just on a bigger scale.
I haven't got one of them either.
Oh,
so
well.
you know, you're in front of me already anyway. So we've got Joth, as you said. We've got Joth Davies from Savills as another guest today. We've got Sam Campagna. We've got Pauline, who's been on the show before, which is going to be a treat.
I hope she's not fetched them rank clippers that she showed up on that night as well.
Well, I told her bring them, wouldn't I?
We got lots of guests texted in that night saying the $29.95, you only use them twice before they can mash tea to get that on. So hopefully she expects them to do to show us as well. But we've got the amazing, one of my best pals in industry, Joth Davies from Savills. I don't know if Joth knows as well. I know he's going to join us for a beer. But the last few episodes, when people said, "Who's been your inspiration?" a lot of people's come up with Joth Davies as being one of our biggest inspirations. And I think that's a great testament to how he's run his business at Savills. But also as well, I think, you know, he's been a nice guy. There's a lot of people out there who are on this massive ego trip in this industry. It just shows you nice and steady, build up your reputation, do it properly, do it with integrity. And obviously then later in life, you know,
Definitely.
get the fruits from
I think
what we've done.
I think we've pushed that message before, haven't we? And hopefully it pays off for the nice guys in the trade as well.
Yeah.
Just a couple of things happening in the week. We've got a big change in the salons tomorrow. We've got all guests have got to wear masks, and I've just been told in the hotel as well, if we go down for breakfast, we've got to wear a mask when we come out of the hotel tomorrow.
You mean go pick your bag of bacon sandwich up? There's no breakfast.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean.
Walk away.
So
Carry out.
So remember, everybody got to wear masks tomorrow. All your clients, especially you as well out there, all you professionals. I know we're doing a great job, but please keep it up. We can't have this second spike. We've got Manchester in lockdown, Aberdeen, the pubs have closed, disaster. So it's definitely happening, folks. So we've got to push the message of PPE all the way. Treat your customers with respect, and they'll treat you with respect as well. So still no more shaving until the 15th. So we might see shaving services come back. Missing that hugely. I haven't done a shave now in 6 months.
Oh, your beard looks well. Oh, you mean shop? I've got it.
I haven't had a chance to review it. Obviously, we've been running around.
No, Batman, he's had a nice shave today.
Man child.
I'm trying to looking nice and trim, innit? But these drinks coming, mate. When I have that rare condition when I'm out, okay? We've been locked away. I want a recorder inside there every 3 or 4 minutes till I pass out. Okay, so that's the rule tonight.
Empty glass, you fill.
You fill it up. So we just before we start, obviously for the information, guys, that all the information, as you know, all the different sites that you can look on as well. Have a look on the Barbers Arms website, which is barbersarms.co.uk. Also, as well, if you want to drop us an email as well, which is thebarbersarms@britishbarbers.com. My Instagram is Sammy Shaw Wahl, and Gaz is the British Barber. The usual sites in there for all the information on tonight's show, the podcast, future events on the 6th of September, and future shows that's coming up. Episode 18 is going to be no shortage. So we just our first guest has just joined us, actually, Matt Glennon. We're just going to fetch him in. Matt's going to join us behind the
Come on,
back.
Matt.
Oh, he's here. Welcome to Barbers Arms, Mr. Matt Glennon.
Yeah, man, all right, not too far. I've worked in Leeds a little bit as well. So I've been working at the BBC, with me a lot of football shows and things like that. And in between,
He's used to
there
it,
as well.
Doesn't he? He's on radio. He's got a perfect face for radio as well.
Yeah. It's not the first to say that. Yeah. He's not me on these shows, and you can see.
Now, you know why we're a fantastic goalkeeper. You see the size of his hands. It's like, growing up, I remember a goalkeeper that you probably remember called Sepp Maier, the German keeper.
Yeah.
And he had massive hands as well, but Matt's hands are massive as well. So we're going to come and talk to you in a short while and find out a little bit about football, the transition from football into barbering. I love the name as well, G27. I think it was your number on your shirt number, which for goalkeeper 27. You've got a goalkeeper academy.
Yes.
And is it Grooming 27?
No, barbering, just G27 barbering, G27 hair and beauty.
Yeah. Nice dream. I think we get lots of barbers asking, come to our bar, come and do this. And there's only Johnny who never offered us. We said, Johnny, I want to use your bar for the first time. Perfect location. He didn't have to start this off, so everybody will be pissed off and be saying, can you come to our bar? Can you come to our bar? But Johnny's been fantastic to help us out.
Yeah.
And I think if the weather gets really nice in August, we should go to Matt's and have a few beers at Matt's and have a swim and stuff when it's safe to do so.
Oh, you wouldn't like to see us with no clothes on, right, would you?
Well, I'm sure you two have a nice night in the hotel tonight. So tell me a few stories next week.
So, Matt,
we're going to have some few stories off you about football. So, what footballers get up to.
So, Matt, if you want to join, go downstairs into the hot seat,
into the hot seat, yeah.
Into the Barber, which is a fantastic brand. I always love coming to Leeds, and I always love walking past Johnny's places, whether it's in Birmingham, whether it's in London, whether it's in Manchester. We always talk about brands, and we always talk about having a real corporate image. And I always think this one's done right. Whether you go downstairs, whether you come upstairs to his venues, whether you go into his staff rooms, it's got a fantastic venues. Manchester's fantastic.
Oh yeah, beautiful place in the arcade as well.
His place in Manchester's superb. So, anybody who's watching about branding, this has got a fantastic place about it as well. So it's really good. And
I think the thing is as well, if you do it right, it's so recognisable on High Street, isn't it?
Yeah, well, as soon as you see those bulbs around, it's been copied.
Yeah.
But this is the original place to do it. You've got that nice smell when you walk in. The staff aren't uniform, but they all look kind of cool, and they've all got the thing. And do you know what? Whether you come on a wet Wednesday or it's a show off Saturday, still the same. There's still beers in a bucket with ice, and it's all done well. You've got that really nice eucalyptus smell when you walk through the doors. Me and Johnny went out. We went out for a meal in Manchester a few years ago, and I met some of the guys who work with his backroom team. And I'm sure when we speak to Johnny, because Johnny's been on the show, it'd be nice to speak to Johnny about having a real good backroom team. People who are not on the shop floor, but really support backroom, which helps him to spearhead and from this. So we've got one of his managers as well, who's an ex-Wahl British Barber of the Year, Jamie Dunning. He's going to be speaking with Johnny as well, who's had a career that's gone into highs and then sometimes he's moved crosswards, but now he's back into Leeds, living in Manchester a minute, but he's here, the manager of this Leeds branch. So it'd be nice to speak to Jamie and see where he's going with his career and how he's enjoying life here in Leeds in the city centre and in this fantastic shop.
So Matt, are you ready?
I am ready,
I've
yes.
got a voice from the gods.
We got
At least you can hear us anyway, mate, so we're all good.
I can
So
hear
we've
you.
got to be careful not to talk over each other because, we've got a slight time difference with us because we've been all the way to Australia and then all the way back again. So lovely to see you, mate. It's been great to have you on the show time. Great to giving us some time. So just give us in a little 2-minute bio, who you are, what you are, and how you got into barbering.
So, Matt Glennon, obviously professional footballer for 20 plus years. When I was about 10 years ago, decided I need to look at something else. When football comes to an end, when the body starts failing on you, I looked up, found some academies, and just went and did just a small course. Absolutely loved it. And then from then on, I've been on every single course I could find, cut as much hair as I can. I've even got into I've done the ladies' hair dressing courses as well, and just thoroughly
fantastic. So, you know, when you started your career as a goalkeeper, and we'll go on to where you started. Did you ever envisage yourself ever being in the barbering industry?
To be fair, slightly, because the man who used to cut my hair back in Stockport when I was a YTS, you know what I mean, he was great. It was a little barber shop. We'd go for a couple of beers in his dinner time as well, and he cut my hair for a long time. It was excellent. I thought, yeah, I could do this. And yeah, obviously 20 years later, I did do that. And it's one of the best decisions I've ever made.
So Matt, obviously we met a couple of years ago, and obviously my connection with football over the years and doing different footballers' hairs, and started doing a little few talks as well to help football managers and to help academy teams, team talk, confidence building and stuff like that. So I'm really interested. Just tell us about your transition from football into barbering.
Well, as I say, as you get older in your footballing years, I've done it for a long time. I've had double knee surgery. I've had over 60 cortisone injections. I've got scars on my face. I've had my ear taken off. You know what I mean? It starts getting a bit old, and you think, I think it's maybe time to find something else. And I went to Sid Sutton's Academy in Nottingham. Obviously, he's a crazy barber there. I went over there, then I went to Wahl, one of your courses. I went over to Well, I did courses. And it was just really moving into a small shop, renting a chair off a man called John Cotton, who back in the day was a man who owned multiple shops a long way back. And he was teaching me. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to buy the shop off him and go from there. So I'd give myself a good solid base, bought the shop, renamed it, and it's moved from there, moved into the bigger shop now as well, about 2 years back. We've got beauty in there as well, which I don't know much about, obviously. And yeah, and just really just smashing it out, just courses, education all the time, while doing as much hair as I possibly can, and just enjoying myself, enjoying my life away from football, because not a lot of footballers do. A lot of footballers struggle when they finish the game. I'm not struggling because I found myself in a great career, as well as obviously staying in football with me radio shows.
I think it's you know, from I'm always interested in such a massive transition, but sometimes, you know, when I've got a real big team, when we do exhibitions and stuff, I found that my team talks, barring how to work on a stage and to give them the motivation, if I'm talking to a team, 12, 15 players in a dressing room, it's very similar in terms of the motivation that I'll say to them and the confidence that I'm building. Have you found any similarities into what you're doing to what you did? Is there anything that you think is similar?
Yeah, hard work pays off. As simple as that. You work hard in football, you stay in football, and you play hundreds and hundreds of games. You work hard at your barbering skills, your people skills as well, and obviously that's a major part of the barbering side for me, speaking to people, enjoying people's company, enjoying meeting new people. And from a footballing aspect, it's just that you have like a bit of a bond with your teammates. I have a bond with a lot of my clients. I play golf with them. We do walking challenges, we climb mountains. You know what I mean? So it's very similar in that instance where you've got your best friends and your teammates instantly. I've also now got I've got 1,000 new best friends, because they come in, we talk, we chat, and I think that team sort of spirit and the hard work, it's just all about hard work.
Walking challenges, we haven't been at fucking car park today.
Do you know what though? Do you know what though, Matt? You know, when you got into barbering, you started doing like 8 to 9 hours. I know you're a professional sportsman. Did you realise it was going to be so hard on your feet and on your legs and that when you started doing full 9-hour days or whatever?
Well, the thing was, I was still playing when I got my first shop. I was playing for Halifax Town in the conference. So I was doing my full days. Then I was driving over to train Tuesday, Thursday nights, then playing on a Saturday, as well as doing long days in the Barbers. So yeah, it was a culture shock. And as well, obviously, I used to do 2 hours a day and get paid a reasonable wage, as you can imagine. And then for the first year and a half, obviously, you're building your business, you're getting your brand together. You're not getting paid very much. And it's like, I'm not too keen on this, but you keep going, you keep batting away. And yeah, apparently it comes.
Just on that note, we've been getting some stick off. We're not drinking enough off our producer and off our fans. So
what are you drinking, Matt?
Just a cheeky bud.
So you get when you come back up here in a minute and we finish the interview, you've got to get on this. So cheers, mate. This is a little concoction. We had this as a drink on a previous show, but I make a litre of this every so often, and we've got a drink of it here. This is my own mix. This is a whiskey Mac, so it's whiskey flavour and ginger wine. It's absolutely beautiful. You can have a taste when you come up.
Nice.
Cheers, all the very best.
I look forward to that.
Are these soaked? Are these?
These are kosher.
Oh my god. It's no getting. It's like something you'd have like okay medicine.
You said you love it.
I do like it. But listen, there's no way getting around it tonight. Gary says sometimes you bluff it when you're taking shots. You can't bluff it tonight.
We're all watching. He's got an audience here, so we can't bluff it tonight.
We've got people sat all from a social distance point of view, but we've got a little audience here that's watching us drink as well, so there's no bluffing it tonight.
No.
Matt, going on to a little bit more serious stuff, so we're going to ask you some questions and we'll finish off with like a profile of you as well. But first of all, what's your highlight of your football career?
Highlight, well, I think it was someone else's highlight because Frank Lampard scored his 100th league goal past me for Chelsea, so I think that was a highlight he enjoyed. Playing, I think he still dines out on it. Playing up in the SPL, playing at Rangers, Celtic, in front of 60,000 people, cup finals. There's been too many. Then another time playing in front of just 8,000 people. We're getting, I think I got a 9 out of 10 in the news of the world. Usually give me a 5, so that was a highlight as well. So I'm glad that paper went west because it never gave me any more than a bloody 5. So yeah, too many. Say 20 years and some fantastic times.
Yeah, I mean that's a testament to yourself keeping fit and staying in the job. I mean, 20 years. I know goalkeepers tend to keep the position, you know, a bit longer than outfield players, but still, it's a fantastic testament to keeping fit and your hard work as well. Just a quick one for our viewers about your barbering career. When you went into barbering, is he tall that you thought he would be? Has he exceeded your expectations? Are you enjoying it, or is there a downside that you never realised? What you know? You said you hide in football. What about barbering?
My first haircut was a 74-year-old man for £3.50. I cut my finger, I think, on the first couple of minutes. I bled all over, and the man that owned the shop didn't have a medical kit either. So I've got a tissue around my finger. I'm getting £3 bleeding 50 for an haircut. I'm thinking, what am I doing? And then obviously you do more and more and more. And now he still comes in, that man as well. Like, he's nearly 80 now. My first ever paid client. And when your skills, it's the same as football. When you learn your skills, when you learn how to do things, when you educate yourself and you're there, it's brilliant. Like today, I've done a 15-year-old's fade, and then I've done an old man's, just a normal, nice scissor cut all over. And yeah, I absolutely love going to work in the daytime. I'm a little bit behind where my plan was, I must admit. The plan was to mobile shops, more things. I got a little bit of a setback a couple of years back, but we're driving forward. And yeah, if you enjoy going to work, then that's all you can ask for.
Brilliant. I completely, these guys, I mean, Simon's given me stick today about, you know, done clients this morning, travelled up here, we run around, set the studio up. You miss the people if you don't do it, don't you? I love the people side of the job.
Yeah.
And I think as an educator as well,
yeah.
You don't, if you're not doing the job, you're almost false in doing what we're actually pushing at the same time, you know. When you get to a certain point in your career, I think you make such a lot of friends as well in the job as well, haven't you? You know, it's like I don't feel like I know what's going on in the job, you know, or in the world if I don't go to work. So it's I agree with you totally.
Yeah, that's where I find out most of my gossip. Where I find it, I've got people. Can't say too loud in case anyone's listening, but I've got friends of friends who tell me things about football that I didn't even know about, and little insider pieces that I use on my show. I mean, I've had my clients on my Match Monday Night Football. I've had them on there as well, and yeah, it's a place where you gain a lot of knowledge on a lot of things and a lot of dirt as well. It's always nice to hear a few little bits of gossip.
A few people's asking us as well, both me and Gaz, who we've both come in tonight. We've fetched our own glasses, we've fetched our own drinks, we've got a nice distance between each other. So anybody's got any concerns, we are doing everything that's correct in terms of social distance.
I did think of, you know, one thing, I've just clinked your glass, haven't I? And they weren't clean glasses, by the way. I know someone's flagged this up, but if you let me, I'd kiss him anyway. So
well,
we both,
fellas,
I
think the
we've tested
I
negative,
think the
so we're all good.
I think
when he said we've done a lot of running around,
I was going to say I think the
for all our viewers that I haven't done any running around. I've tried to stay in this spot because it's red hot in Leeds. We're having fantastic weather, unlike in Australia where I think it's been about 4 degrees today. I've tried to keep everything nice and calm and steady, and actually I did get us a taxi at the hotel.
Thanks for that, mate. Yeah,
Gaz has done a great job. Johnny kept me talking when we got here for the setup, and then I had to go to a meeting and stuff. But
that was funny though. Our producer, who's based in Adelaide, he's out there watching us now. He says, "I'm just going to put the phone down now because we're on hands-free. This was a pre-production meeting, a pre-show meeting." And he said, "I'm just lighting the fire. I think it's about 5 o'clock in the morning now at the moment." So
yes,
we'll take a hat off to you, mate. We love you, Trevor. Thank you very much, sir.
just while you're all watching as well, don't forget on the 6th of September we're our first education day, so you can click into the barbersarms.co.uk, have a look at our first education day. Now you can register for that from Tuesday this week.
Yeah.
It's live, you can register for that. We've got some fantastic presenters doing all different cuts. We're going to show you the front cover that Walls have just done on Modern Barber, which is called the Lloyd. We're going to be showing the mode cut. Gaz is going to be doing a shave. Eric Lander's going to be doing the rocker. We've got Sam Campagna that's going to be joining us. Michael Damiano, Joth Davies. We've got some great educators on this education platform that we're doing, which is on the 6th of September. It's the first one from Barbers. I think we're finishing off with a few drinks in the arms afterwards as well, aren't we?
Yeah, we're finishing off with in the pub, so we'll be in the Barbers Arms as we finish. As a bit of a closing statement for 4 o'clock. So, remember, everybody, it's free. Just register, get in there. It's all free.
I'd charge you.
Well, you charge him as well, just to touch.
I'd be charging you, so it's a freebie. So enjoy it, so I can get my clothes and then you pay for education. Matt, just coming on as we closing up as well. Don't forget, coming up shortly as well, we've got Sam Campagna, our local hero. We've got Joth Davies coming in to speak to everybody. We've got Johnny Barber, and we've also got Jamie Dunnan that we're going to speak to tonight on episode 18. But Matt, which part of your career would you like to relive? Whether that's be football or barbering. A lot, when we ask this question sometimes, we're asking people not like, "Oh, any shitter there, so I'd like to relive it." When people ask me that question, it's when we've done a big show somewhere. If I've been on my own and we've done a seminar in front of 1,000 people, I would relive that a lot when I'm driving in car with the music and everything. Still gives me makes me hairs at the back of me, not my fucking head, but on the back of my neck stand up. Which part of your career would you relive?
Well, I'll do two because obviously I've had 2 very different careers. Football, I've got to say, in the big stadiums, making that great save. I've got a picture on my bio, my G27 Goalkeeping Academy bio, where you've got the backdrop of Celtic Park, and I'm just tipping the ball. I am tipping the ball, by the way. It doesn't go in onto the crossbar and it goes wide because I've read the striker's thoughts before he did it, and moments like that, and then getting the keys to my first shot and actually. When I did it up and I had an open evening, it was only a tiny little shop. We got loads of champagne in. My mum brought nibbles over from Manchester. She brought all the little bits of food for everyone to eat. put some music on. I've got pictures of my daughters, obviously it's a few years ago. And that night, where it was my first ever business, my first ever thing with my name on it, because obviously as a footballer, you do your football, you get paid, you go home, you do your stuff. This was mine and my wife's big start and big rebrand of what we did. And I still remember that night now to this day, and say it was fantastic.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Do you work with your partner then, with your wife? Is it your wife, yeah?
Yeah, no, my wife did retraining beauty therapy when I went into barbering, but unfortunately she's had to have back surgery and she struggles. So she does all the Facebook in the way, she does everything apart from the cutting of hair and everything else. So unfortunately, she's at home based doing everything, but without her, I'd be struggling because I haven't got a clue. When I look at numbers, I haven't got a clue.
But you're a partnership though, it's a team effort though, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Tell all
Definitely.
the viewers as well. Just tell us where your shop is. Where's it located? Where's your shop
What's that?
located?
Sorry, say it again. Also, we're just in a little village called Emley, just outside of Huddersfield, famous for a little semi-professional club that once made it to Wembley many moons ago. And yeah, it's just a 300-year-old building on the corner in the main village square. And yeah, it's great. It's great.
Did they make it to Wembley when Ronnie Glavin was manager?
That's the one. Yes. Look at you, your football knowledge. You know more than bleeding
Oh,
me.
stats. Well, I used to cut Ronnie's hair
His stats,
actually.
good
He's
man,
from Scotland, but I think Ronnie's
right.
highlights of his career when he played for Barnsley, he became a local hero in Barnsley, and even now, coming up to his 60s, he's still a mass legend in the town. Anything that Ronnie Glavin puts his name to in Barnsley, he gets a lot of followings. And I think when Emily did go to Wembley, there are a lot of Emily got a lot of Barnsley fans that followed him.
Yeah. Well, obviously, because he's better than watching Barnsley, so yeah, he's mad as well. Oh, he didn't go there.
You're very
I went there.
close to
I went
Barnsley,
there.
Emily. All the Barnsley fans that are coming in now to your shop are going to give you some proper steak. So I'm going to announce it on Barbers Arms episode 18 that anybody's going to go to G27 for an haircut. If you're a Barnsley fan, go in for your 50% discount. Launched here tonight on Barbers Arms. You get a nice discount off Mr. Glennon there for his slander of Barnsley FC.
Oh, you just made a Stoke fan very happy there. I tell you what, I have to tell you, brilliant, mate. Thank you very much.
And that's not easy these days either.
No, we're in the doldrums a little bit at the moment, but you know, every season's a new one, so we're just looking forward. We stayed up, so here we go. We've been there once, we'll go again.
Well, yeah, so yeah, with the size of your budget, you should have bloody stayed up as well. So she pays herself enough, doesn't she, the old Stokey lady? She enjoys herself all 365. Yeah, I thought you'd be up there this year, Stoke.
I know. Can't believe it. Absolutely devastating. But it's been a funny year all round, hasn't it? You know, we've had a lot of changing managers and different things. And then obviously all this madness hasn't helped either. So there we go. So you got some questions for this?
Yeah, Matt, we always finish off on the arms just to get a little profile on individuals, some quick fire questions. So here we go, we'll build a little profile. So Matt Glennon from G27, ex-professional goalkeeper. Now running G27 out of Emlyn near Huddersfield. So Matt, what's your favourite music?
I like a bit of David Bowie, to be fair.
Oh, David Bowie.
Brilliant.
I think we have some of that in Johnny's earlier, didn't we?
Yeah.
Is Jamie in charge of all music here?
Yeah.
There were a lot of nice 80s mix, and I felt right at home actually.
Yeah, I like the 80s. 80s, yeah.
Like that, it's a secret, honestly. Do you know what? I've got all the Johnny's playlist once in the car. Honestly, it's weird.
Do you know what? It's funny. He keeps catching me out here. I keep expecting to see Rach the other side of there. He doesn't even nothing like me.
No.
Got a better view at home I have. My barber lady, you know, she's my barmaid at the moment at home. She's a lot better looking than this man child, I tell you. I can't believe it. I keep looking for the dark hair and lovely figures.
He's kept his drinks flowing tonight. I like it here. I'm better than
Every time I turn around,
better than my barmaid. At least it's she's not walking in front, she's been stitching on camera. What you all don't know, I'll be off the camera, I'll go. Good dog. Take that time when Joth saw it.
Kenley, if you're watching, you can beat him later. You're all right.
So Matt, we've got your favourite music, which is David Bowie. What's your favourite drink?
Favourite drink? I'm going to say I enjoy Moretti, but I also like a gin and tonic.
Okay, and what's your favourite food?
Favourite food? Italian, with plenty of spice.
Yeah, there's some proper nice restaurants here in Leeds. Who would be your ideal dinner date?
Good question. Ideal dinner date would have to be. I'd actually like to spend dinner with Peter Shilton. I met him many moons ago, and he was fantastic. Just did a little piece the other day for him as well. So yeah, I'd like to sit down and have a little chat with him.
What was that again? Sorry,
Peter
you said it again.
Peter Shilton, an ex-Stokey goalkeeper.
Now you're talking about a Stoke keeper.
I used to have his flicker book. He used to have his little flicker book, and he showed you all his skills.
Fantastic.
Did you ever hear the story about Shilts that he didn't think he was tall enough, so he used to hang himself from the banister to stretch his body out? Did you know that, Matt?
I knew that. Yes.
Banister when I tried it.
I was just going to say,
Don't know what happened.
Ground floor.
There we go. Obviously, Barbers' Arms is, if you've got any harass ratios at Wahl, it's not for, you've got to be over 18. We'll tap on the bar. Yeehaw! Another shot, here we go. Make sure you get paid for to drink this bastard. I'm glad Joth's here because he'll be telling me off and he'll be giving me a bollocking all the way back.
He's carrying you, I'm not carrying you.
Look at that. Matt, last question for you, pal. What's your favourite destination? Where would you like to? Where's your favourite place where you go on holiday?
Dominican.
Oh, lovely. See, he's got footballer's taste all the way through it, hasn't he? He's got a nice
swimming pool.
Dominican.
Dominican.
Bought himself a nice barbershop Barbers in Salon Beautician. He's good looking. He's got massive hands. He still kept himself. He's on BBC Radio. I started tuning into your sports stuff on BBC Radio. Don't forget to mention us on your radio station. Me and Gaz, give the Barbers' Arms a little plug for us.
I'll be chucking right in there. Don't worry about that. Yes.
Good. Guys, episode 18 of Barbers' Arms. We've got the fantastic Matt Glennon from G27. Matt sat down listening to a bit of David Bowie. He's having a nice gin and tonic. Don't know what kind of gin you like, but I always like the nice flavoured gins at me. They're a bit like a cocktail as well. Eating a nice Italian meal. He'll be having that meal with Peter Shilton, the legendary Peter Shilton. And if you're doing all this, it'd be in the Dominican Republic with Shilts, listening to some David Bowie, having an Italian, and a nice gin and tonic with Shilts.
Doesn't get much better.
Don't get much better than that. Matt Glennon from
Good night.
G27.
Don't get better than that. Don't get better than that.
Go for all of us at Barbers' Arms. Nice to have you, Matt.
Thank you.
Great guy. So, guys, it's nice being out, isn't it?
Oh, God. Do you know what? Just seeing you, it's nice.
We saw each other once, didn't we? Just from Gaz's birthday, and I travelled over because I wanted him to smell nice first time we saw each other. It was a nice birthday because done a little bit of Tom Ford, so he swaggers now. It looks like Beltrayman walking through.
I knew you were going to say that.
Beltrayman walking through. All the women in the restaurant were like, oh, that smells fantastic. No, it's me, fat kid. But I think it was Gaz tonight. So, what's coming up next on the old Barbers' Arms?
Wow, we've got some more great guests, but shall we have Johnny in again? Where's Johnny? Let's give him another little bit. And Jamie. Come on.
Where's Jamie?
Come on, Jamie, where are you, baby? He's coming in. There, look at that. Social distancing, man. Social distancing. Move over, man, child.
It's their bubble.
Yeah. Oh, that's it then.
Do you know what, guys? I came into Leeds last week. One thing I was very impressed with Johnny's shop is you can't walk in. So through the day when it's trading, there's a table at the front there. They've got a temperature gauge. It's roped up. But it were good to think that the shop were nice and busy, but there was a real. There was nobody sat wait. They purposely get.
Yeah,
it's nice when the people stand outside.
Yeah, again, we can only have when somebody's ready. You can have one person in the shop at any one time. I think. But like what we can be asking for 5 minutes before the appointment, check temperature, hand sanitizer, all that kind of nice stuff. And then we're working. We're not really used to appointments, so because primarily we're a walk-in shop. We've been walking since we opened, and that was the one worry I had after lockdown was we're going to be able to do the whole appointment thing. Because I came up the old-fashioned way, so we thought walking was next,
Yeah.
But actually, we're kind of liking this, aren't we?
So Jamie, like from your point of view, with working with a walk-in system all the time, you've just said exactly what I was going to ask you, because we've been exactly the same with our business, and you've almost been forced to change your business plan. Really, it's something that's forced on us. What would you say now at the minute you're down on sales? Are you still busy? Fridays and Saturdays haven't changed?
I think when it comes to the appointments and walking, trade doesn't really go down because we've got the same amount of clients that want to get in for the haircut that we always have. I think the only thing that we'd say we're down on is shop atmosphere. So the walking system really builds an atmosphere for a chat. I mean, I know our clients are very much sociable when they're in the shop. Like we have the drinks flowing and people want to, like, even strangers will talk to each other, what you're doing later, blah, blah, blah. We're definitely down on that. As regards to trade, I think we're busier than ever. I think especially the first week with people not having haircuts, you couldn't stop. You couldn't stop. I think everyone was the same.
I think everybody's very worried at the moment because we've all gone to an appointment system. You look at your week ahead and you're like, there's nobody in, kind of thing. Nobody's booked, or your regulars have. The people who've embraced the booking system. But then you get to the day and you fill up and you're just as busy, aren't you? Like I went into work this morning. By the time I drove from home to work, I was full. You know what I mean? For the morning. Yeah. So I think it's your older clients who are shielding. They're a bit. Consumer confidence is down a little bit on the older clients, aren't they?
But I always say this one actually full because I had McDonald's breakfast on the way in. By the way, Jamie, those trousers are spectacular. By the way, I don't know if you can see them. Look at these, ladies and gents. Look at these.
Six are laying in his off time, isn't it?
Beautiful trousers, like fucking 5'9" humbug.
He's not 5 foot.
He's not 5 foot. But Jamie, you're now the manager here at Barber. How many years ago since you won the Wahl Barber of the Year? About
2015.
5 years ago. Wow.
Yeah.
Now you're here, the manager of Barber. You enjoying your life here in Leeds?
Yeah. I went to Manchester, so this is obviously Johnny's flagship, I'd say, and learned, really started understanding what it took as a service element of barbering opposed to cutting hair. I always predominantly focused my interest on trying to be good at cutting hair, and I never understood how much more barbering is than cutting.
Yep.
And then when I obviously went and worked with the guys at Manchester, where it's service, it really put a new perspective on stuff where I started to enjoy doing the job.
Do you know what, Jamie? I think Matt will probably back us up on this as well. There's a huge amount of skills, different skills that you need to make a successful barber. It's not just about smashing a great haircut. It's about everything else that goes with that as well. Customer service, being able to manage your time, being clean, tidy. Being a good guy, really.
I think the best thing I ever took on board was saying, Johnny said, it was after a certain level of haircut, it becomes invisible. Yeah. So a client only knows this level of haircut. Once it's gone, it's everything on top that you make them come back.
And I think now with having the appointment system as well, you're able to build your own clients. You build your client base.
It's more personal, I think, rather than working.
Yeah.
I have to say, when I came in, obviously we got about 3-ish, and again, we never switch off him for lockdown. Speaking to Johnny and the ideas that he's got, he wants to move forward. Same as us, we never stop thinking about new inventions, coming up with things for 2021 and from an education point of view, things change. But Jimmy, I have to say, when I was downstairs, I watched you got your chair turned away from the mirror. you were cutting somebody's hair, but you were actually talking to the reception, and I love that. That for me was superb. You know, not having your client facing the mirror, having your client facing, and I felt that everybody, the guys in reception from a distance, were all involved in the haircut. I love that. I thought it was great.
I don't know. You've done a lot of traveling in the States. The traditional barbershop, the barbershop in the hood, if you like, was always like that, though, wasn't it? They always cut hair into the shop, and they would talk. It was one group conversation, wasn't it? You know what I mean?
Definitely.
That works in a lot of places, great. But some people do want that little bit of, me time kind of thing. But I think in the right place, we do exactly the same. It's fantastic.
So again, massive thanks tonight. We're going to do the first live show out into a regular bar. Obviously, we want to keep the social distancing right. Once we spoke to Johnny, I spoke to Johnny about 7 weeks ago. So we decided, would you like to be the first bar? It's got a fantastic facility here. So again, thanks to Johnny Barber for hosting it tonight. Travel over from Manchester to be here today. It's back behind the chair tomorrow in his Manchester store, which is the flagship store.
Beautiful.
Thanks to Jamie Dunning as well from Barber. They're staying late tonight till 10. Again, commitment. And to one of their staff, Dan, who's our barman tonight.
We'll buy him a pint after, won't we?
Of course, we'll buy him a pint.
Little cheeky one.
Take the net a little bit. I'm not getting into it with you also.
We've had that conversation before. You're not having me jeans again.
Oh, you've all heard that story about swapping trousers in the bar.
They won't fit you
I'm
now.
going to this bar, but we haven't had long fit. They've dropped nothing fucking trousers while we're in Dubai. Right, thanks to Johnny, thanks to Jamie. We're going to fetch Joth Davies for a beer before he goes downstairs into the. Oh, Joth's coming up anyway. Joth.
Barbers.
Johnny Barber, the host here at Barber, and Jamie Dunning, the store manager of Barber. Now we've got a fantastic legend. He's been on the show. Do you know what? When Joth came on the show, he got a beautiful bar behind him. He got his beautiful suit on, and I felt then when you seen the views afterwards, where I think when Joth were on the show, we were in his infancy, maybe show 3, where there were about 10, 15,000 views. And then I kept saying to Joth, oh, we've had 150,000 views this week. But it'd be fantastic for everyone to get Joth back on. So, ladies and gentlemen, the owner, the founder, the creator of Savills Barbers, Mr. Joth Davies in the house.
What are you drinking tonight, mate?
Budweiser.
Budweiser.
We've got the new skinny Joth as well. Joth is being on
Off the job.
Look at this. And if you'd have seen his photographs on Facebook and stuff like that, it looks absolutely unbelievable.
Do you know what, though? I can honestly say, we haven't seen each other for a while before that, but he never carried a lot of weight, did he? He wasn't one of us, was he? He wasn't
no, but when
man.
you saw he carried it really well. But when he did the photograph on Facebook and he showed the before and after, wow, but
I know, but it's like one of them slimming tablets, man, isn't it? Where you push your belly out. This is how it was before. He's never been a fat lad in his life.
I just wasn't.
He wasn't like us. He was a big lad.
just before we get Joth downstairs to get a little interview as well, we've had lots of people coming in asking where Johnny and Jamie got their tattoos from. If you didn't know this, Stevie Wonder's now opened up a tattoo parlour in Manchester and in Leeds. It'll be available for appointments after lockdown. We're going to off now, giving it like that. Hey, if I was staying here tonight, keep your heart for you. Up and down, I'll be a place there. And that.
That's a really racist thing to say.
I love the Irish.
Do you know what? He didn't bring tarmac up, so I think it's a plus that one.
The whole thing, like, the Irishman does with tarmac, we come on. That's the whole thing. That's why we want to do it in English, because I think you guys aren't stupid enough to fail.
Right, Joth, are you going to get in the hot seat? We'll see you downstairs in 2 minutes. What a great show. I love being live, mate. I know we're live, but I mean, when it's in your kitchen and you're sitting with just your pants on and, you know, you haven't got anybody around you.
I'll tell you what, I decided to pants tonight for the lab.
Oh, you've got your shorts on. That's neat.
It's so warm, guys, in Leeds. I think it was 31 degrees when I arrived at Leeds at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Hotel nice for you?
Oh, lovely. Yeah. Well, the 5 minutes I've seen of it, because of setting up and everything else. I mean, usual show thing. You spend 5 minutes in your hotel room, don't you? And then go
Johnny's going. See you later, Johnny.
Johnny, love you, mate. See you later, mate. Bye-bye.
Okay, so we're going to transfer to Joth. Joth's downstairs.
He's in the barber hot seat.
He's in the barber hot seat. Joth, thanks for joining us again. I know you were on episode 3 right at the beginning of Barbers Arms, but what's been happening with yourself since, obviously we spoke to you very early in this. How's things back to normal in Savills?
Have we lost Joth?
Have we lost Joth?
Joth, are you there? He's gone off. So we'll just 2 seconds. We're just having a little technical hitch.
Might as well have another shot.
Yeah, while we're at it, while Joth sorts himself out.
Well, let's have a look at this then.
Hey, come on. Pull yourself a glass up, mate.
It's a little shot, Matt.
Come on, Matt.
Just a little taster.
This.
My line's a bit bigger than yours, though. Is that all right?
You're bigger than us, so
I bet you say
it's all
that.
relative. It's all relative in life.
Big and small feet.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Good else here, all the very best. Cheers.
Cheers. No kidding tonight, Trev. Oh.
It's nice. It's quite nice, isn't it? It's nice. That's it. What that is there is a mix by myself. That's a whiskey mac. That's a monster mix. That is.
Oh.
Monster mix.
Ooh.
You send me
So
a-
she-
Josh back in the chair. We'll have to get Paul in for a shot as well. Josh,
Hi.
we interviewed you on episode 3. Have you heard as well over the last few weeks that when we're asking people who's been one of your biggest inspirations, and your name come up a lot. I think Trevor put a message once that Josh's got a lot of airtime tonight. We've been on there a lot. How did that make you feel, Josh, when you heard a lot of people said you've inspired them over their careers?
Yeah, I saw that. It was Frank, and I think you and I had quite a lot of conversations that week. So my name cropped up, I think, 2 or 3 times during that. It is really nice to hear that people kind of like the brand and like what I've done. I didn't try to set out to do any of that in the beginning. I just kind of did what I wanted to do and what felt good and what I liked, and it just seemed to resonate with people. And then obviously the proverbial shit hit the fan, and then the whole thing sort of blew up. And I never expected any of it to happen. So it's really nice to hear that, especially from Frank as well. Frank's become a really good friend of mine.
And for everybody who saw you on episode 3 to seeing you now, and if you've watched and looked at your Facebook posts and your Insta posts as well, what's the secret?
Just consistency. I just decided that enough was enough. I was feeling really crap in a lot of ways, physically and mentally, and I had kind of an undiagnosed sort of health issue with my arm that had been going off for a couple of years, and I'd had that many different sort of tests and scans and MRIs and CTs and nerve conductivity tests and all kinds of things, and for 18 months the doctors were just completely and utterly stumped. They just was like, there's just no reason why you're getting that sort of pain. And then it was through a conversation through a couple of friends of mine who were going through some pretty awful breakups, and were under sort of counselling and coaching, personal coaching, and they were both diagnosed as sort of having PTSD, which I thought was kind of really weird, because you just think, well, that's only really for people that have been in kind of war zones and things like that. But the best way I can sort of describe it in a really short way was, it's kind of like you've got this little bit in the back of your brain that fills up every time you're kind of in a stressful situation. Even though I never really felt stressed or hung up or stressed out or anything, as soon as something sort of happened and I was in a stressful situation, because we were so busy, I didn't really have time to deal with it. You just sort of move on. And as you move on, you chuck this into this little part, let's call it a little glass. And then eventually, before the next thing happens, and you've not dealt with that one, you chuck that one in there as well. And then this little glass basically fills up to it, gets to a point over several years where you just can't put any more in there. And then it starts to spew out and come out in your body in adrenaline caused by an overload of stress. And I think that's what it was, because the minute I sort of went down that path and went down sort of some coaching, some personal coaching, literally like session 1, there was just these massive light bulb moments. and session 2, session 3, and that's all I had, 3 sessions, and then I just felt like a million times better. It was all these little light bulb moments and things that I've been doing for years, like that I'd never really sort of dealt with, and then that just led me down like a healthy path altogether. Really, I'd kind of been probably drinking a little bit too much, too many nights in the pub, and just not sleeping properly. And the minute I started to sort of work out what those mechanisms were, and then started, right, okay, I'm going to try and sort of change my diet and try and change things around and see what that does.
And of course, I can remember some of the tips of those stress points. I was with Joth. We were once travelling to America. He got a bit of a back problem. We was in the airport. We flew from Manchester. Can you remember? We flew from Manchester to Heathrow, and we went into Wagamama's.
Yeah.
And at that point, if I'd have said to him, it's okay, he would have got a flight back to Manchester and gone home. And I said, come on, take painkillers when we got there. And he was brilliant when we got there. And then if you remember when we did the filming for a documentary, which was The Journey of My Destination, I was sat, and it was very late in his shop, and having an interview. She asked him one question, and he'd fired all, like he's doing tonight, he'd fired all the questions off, and then she asked him one question, and all I could hear was silence. And I'm sat on my phone behind the reception, and I'm like, what's happening? And the emotion came out. I think I've been with you when some of those tips have been there.
Well, definitely. I mean, they were 2 quite big moments there. I mean, then the trip when we went to Chicago, that was at the height of the pain that I had that was up and down my arm. And when we arrived, got the flight from Manchester and arrived in London, and we were queuing up to get into the gate to go through before we went to Wagamama's. And we were stood in that queue, and I never told you this. There was a couple of paramedics that went past. I think one of them was on a bike, and you'll never know how close I was to pulling one of them over. I felt absolutely awful. The pain up and down my arm, going right up into my face and in my chest, was like, it was the worst it had ever been. And I was so close to not getting on that flight. And like you just said, if you'd have just said, you don't look well, do you want to go? I would have gone. I was that close to going. And
do you know what, Joth? I don't think people. I've always been one of those people who, rightly or wrongly, you always think, "Oh, get on with it," kind of thing. Because I think when you have your own business as well, especially, there's nobody else to fall back on. So you almost carry on regardless, don't you? And I think you're in the same boat. But you're very similar to me, and I'm sure with the same animal as Simon. You can never say no. It's when somebody offers you an opportunity, you should want to grab it with both hands. But sometimes it's detrimental to your own health, or actually your family life, or your family. So
we had a great time when we were all in Chicago. I think
was that the same time?
Well, we were on one trip where Joth's been to America 3 times. We were at one trip where we were all in Chicago. We went out for nice meals.
I tell you what, if that's the same trip as you're on about, I mean,
no,
from outside, you look great, So it's people never know. I think that's what you're trying to get through, especially when Simon said then, you wouldn't know how close it was not getting on that plane. Yeah. People just never know, do they?
And Joth, before we move on to Sam Campagna, just tell the viewers: is there anything new happening at Savills? Anything in the pipeline that's exciting that you've got coming up?
Well, no, I mean, we're just sort of like everybody working through the sort of pandemic at the moment, and like sort of most barbershop owners that I've spoke to over the last sort of few weeks. And I know, we've been speaking all the way through lockdown, and I'm with Johnny as well. And afterwards, and we all this mad rush for the first sort of 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And then literally like now we're down to like 40% of what we should be doing. So we're just trying to work through that at the moment, and hopefully that's going to sort of come back in the next couple of months. We're trying to sort of look at ways of doing the academy at the moment, because our academy normally starts again sort of September, October, and we've got quite a lot of people booked in already. And there's a guy coming from China and someone coming from Norway that was supposed to come before, right at the beginning of the pandemic, and we told them to kind of wait and hold off. So that's kind of all we're working towards at the moment, just making sure everybody's safe and well and protected, and just sort of, it's just a waiting game really now. I'm just waiting for it to come back. Other than that, just trying to stay fit and healthy.
That's great to see him as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think it's great having the actual personal contact. I think it's great to see people. But do you know what? I'm glad you brought that up as well, because a lot of our members, a lot of people who watch the show, they're like, what have I done wrong? You know, what on earth has happened to the trade? What has happened to my customers? I had this great client base, this great database, and they're just not walking through the door. And I think we're all in the same boat. So everybody out there, just hang in there. You do what you're doing. You know, it's the same for everybody out there. So just hang in.
And we were warned about this as well. You know, when we had the last, when I was on last time, you know, there was like fairly early on, like week 3, I think it was, or something like that. And I forget the girl's name from China.
Anna.
Anna, yes, Anna. And she warned us then, you know, saying, "Oh, look, you're going to get 2 weeks busy, 3 weeks quiet." But I don't think anybody, you know, realised, you know, what we were in for and how quiet it was going to go. So, but it has to come back, right?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, your customers cannot just disappear, can they? You know, I think we've got the older gents who are still shielding, or still consumer confidence is really down still. People aren't walking around the shops. Footfall isn't the same. Your city centre as well. I mean, we're market towns, but your city centre, people aren't just having a window shop, are they? So unless you're a destination centre, you know, people aren't coming. So, you know, it's tough at the moment, but we've all just got to hang in there, haven't we?
Oh.
I'm here. I'm still here. Yeah, look, I'm not going to go on because I can go on all night, but it's just like, it's the offices. I think that's the biggest thing for us in Sheffield, and the students, because we're a university town. So we've got 2 huge universities there. When they're back, that will obviously change things, but also the offices that are in town with, you know, that have got 2,000 or 3,000 people in each office, they're only running at 30% capacity. So there's just not those people in town. And when that starts to happen over the next September and October, when they start to get bigger percentages back, everyone will start getting the shops back to where they should be.
Well, fantastic guest again, Joth, to have you with us. It's great to see you. Obviously, we're going to have a beer and that. You want to join us back up in the bar as well?
Certainly do.
Inspirational as usual, mate. Fantastic, great.
Joth Davies in the Barbers house. So, yeah, it's cocktail time, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Just because we've got some of our guests, so we're going to have a beer with afterwards as well. We're going to fetch in one of our #1 fans who's travelled over from Manchester. She's going to do the cocktail with you, so you can do the cocktail.
Come on, Pauline, where are you, baby?
Who
Come on.
really fetched herself down to the lower levels by saying what every clip where she mentioned the clip level about
She's here.
12 quid. Pauline is in the house, train from Manchester. So, Pauline, nice to see you. What's it like having us in the flesh?
She's
Lovely speech.
She's better in the flesh before anyway.
So it's cocktail time for you, Pauline. You have to take my cocktail for me. So Gary's gonna show you how you're gonna make Gary's cocktail.
What we're gonna do is let's get rid of those empty bottles.
It's not empty.
It is. It's empty. Well, I don't know where you're from, but that's definitely empty. Anyway, so what we're gonna do is we need another glass. Have we got a glass behind the bar? Because we're social distancing. Just behind you. So.
Oh, should we have a posh one?
No. It's just to get ice out. That's all. We don't want you to touch. Yes, it. So get in there. Get a little bit of ice.
Speak up, Pauline, as well. Get a bit away from camera. So I'm talking. Speak up, so we can all hear you.
So straight in there.
Shout.
Definitely. Go on. In this glass. One in there. See, so I can't actually give Simon a drink to you.
You don't mind.
Or ice in mine, please.
Which is yours?
This is mine, thank you. So tonight, ladies and gents, what we're doing is a dark and stormy. So I asked Simon what he fancied. So we decided we're going on to some. This is my jigger. So a jigger is 2 ounces or 1 ounce. So we tip it over ice into. We've got a little bit of water in there. You as he told us to do this on purpose.
Oh, it's melting.
It's all right. No, you're all right. Leave it there. He's just watering his drink down. That's all it is. I think he's happy to do this on purpose. So 2 ounces of spice rum. We're using Kraken. We're using Kraken today. So Kraken spiced rum, black spiced rum. So we put that in. So we've got now what we got there. Some lime juice. So we put the lime juice in. Yeah, in both. And then in this cool back here, we've got some. We've got no. Yeah, that's what we squeezed earlier. Stop taking my job off me. Do as you're told. Yeah, no. We want one of them, and we want to just fill it hot. Ginger beer. Just filling it. This is a dark and stormy. This is. So it's spiced rum. This is what he loves. This dark and stormy.
I've never worked behind the bar before.
Yes, well, this first time for everything. So that's it. Top it up because he does like a long drink, Simon.
She's drinking it.
That's enough for me. Thank you. Oh, I don't like mine watered down. So now we've got.
Why is it in a bottle bag?
It's ice insulated. So we want a little piece of. Just take it out with that, please. We want a little piece of lime in each.
The green one.
There's orange, yellow, and green. So that's it, perfect. And now another little piece of lime. Yeah, in that one, perfect. So, sir, there we have it. A dark and stormy, over eyes. Oh, we don't have to do. We didn't need to carry all that today.
Oh, okay.
So, Simon, there you go.
No, Pauline's having it.
I am. Not a chance.
Come on, you
No.
can taste it. Come on.
Joth, would you like a cocktail?
Is it old fashioned?
No,
Similar.
it's a dark and
Try
stormy.
this.
I'll have a go.
We've
I
got,
don't know what it is.
you've got to bear in mind, guys. I'm not a massive
Have you
drink.
just made it up?
No, it's a dark and stormy, but it's a
He's
little
good at
bit
cocktails.
weaker because she's put a lot in because she thought
A little bit weaker, so she's put a lot in, or do you mean a little bit stronger?
Yeah.
weaker because she
Double
put
Dutch.
too much mixer in. But
Double Dutch.
Well, I've never worked behind the bar before.
Yeah.
anyway, I'd have said cheers,
Well,
but
cheers.
Cheers.
to that.
Cheers. Cheers.
Oh,
Not very
very
good.
nice. I know, cheers. That's Rachel's favourite. She loves that.
Thank you. Cheers.
Good out. Cheers. That.
So, are we?
So, Pauline, how long does it take you to get here tonight?
10 minutes.
That's
No,
why
I'm
you're
not
all
joking.
local.
I'm not joking because I'm staying here.
Oh,
It's my
no.
holidays.
Where
On
are
a
you?
weekend.
Where? If you're coming from home then.
About an hour.
So where are you based?
From Wigan
Wigan.
to Leeds is about an hour. I do it regularly, 2-3 times a week to see my son and the grandchild.
Perfect.
My little grandson Ralph, who's been registered today and is now legal.
For what?
Child benefit.
You couldn't write
Oh,
it.
well, you get it,
You couldn't
you
write
get it in a
it.
bar anyway.
Nice to have you with us, Pauline. Doorbells here. I think you've got my lead educator at Wahl UK, Mr. Sam Campagna in the house. Welcome.
Thank you very
Cheers,
much,
Barbers
Pauline.
out. Sam Campagna.
Hey up, fellas.
Sam?
I'm all good. You guys all right?
Yeah, good mate. You looking
No,
well?
No, thanks to you. I'm walking home tonight.
Have you had
Jeez.
any good drinks?
Well, we finished at 7, so I've been drinking our bar dry. Watching you
Okay.
guys.
Have you been watching the show?
Yeah. I've been watching it.
Good. You enjoy it in the Barbers' Arms tonight, live in Leeds?
Yeah, I'm a bit gutted that I didn't get an invite down to the bar, to be honest.
Oh well, we only had very limited places, and Joth got straight in there. As soon as we announced it, he went, I'm coming to the first live show, so he's on the doorstep as well. So.
Listen,
Wow.
mate. You're St Albans, aren't you?
Yeah,
So when we're in that neck of the woods, you are first on the list, mate.
absolutely. Cheers to that.
Missed you anyway. Miss seeing you on the show circuit and having a social with you. Great guy. So what's new for you?
Turn sideways, Sam. Turn your phone sideways so we can see you a bit wider.
Is that better?
Yeah,
There we go.
So, well, I mean, apart from the manic getting back to the whole, work situation, we've just been grinding on, really, been cracking on, making sure that everything's running smoothly. You know, kind of just business, really, which seems like what everyone's doing.
Yeah, of course.
Sam, we've been speaking tonight. Johnny was speaking about your alternative barbering co. Which shop are you in at the moment?
I'm in St Albans.
Can we have a little look round, please?
Yeah. So I'll just flip you around.
Nice floor.
Hey! Twins.
So this is obviously it's not a match for Johnny's bar there, but this is our bar area here with a few of the little accolades that Simon always tells me to keep in a drawer and not put out, but they're up here anyway. So yeah, this is this is part of this is like the reception floor, just to mark it out, you know, differently. We were in a little shop across the road, which you can't really see because it's a bit dark, but it's a tiny little shop there, and we moved over to here a couple of years ago. So as you can see, we got like stickers on the floor to get people to wait there, you know, with all the COVID you know, requirements. We've set everything out so there's loads of space apart, and we've basically got, this is the salon here. So what we do is we raise the arm, the headrest, sorry, of the chair, so we know that all the chairs have been cleaned and ready for the next client. And obviously we've got all our blade ice out on each section and our hygiene spray, so that's on each section there. So 8 chairs.
How many barbers have you got working there then, Sam?
So we've got, well, I mean, we across 4 shops, we do split them a little bit. So we do have 7 to 8 guys on all these chairs here, but at the moment we're kind of sticking to 5. So obviously we can kind of spread and keep the gap without having screens between. So a couple of us work on that side, and then obviously we kind of split this into 3. And what came in really handy is we've got a Dyson tap with an air dryer on it.
Nice.
So that's a nice little gadget for us, but it's coming obviously really handy. And obviously, you know, as you can see, we've got loads of space, so we're kind of quite happy and quite easy about all the social distancing.
Beautiful salon, Sam. And you know myself, when I come to St Albans, I actually love it there, Gary. It's a really nice little,
lovely place. Sam, from a staff point of view, how do you decide who's working and who's not? So you said you've gone from 8 to 5. How do you work the rota? Do you work them in bubbles or so many days a week? Or
yeah, we've split the shops, so each individual shop is staying in its own bubble, so no one's mixing between the shops. So we've basically just allocated, you know, all my staff are employed. So basically what we've done is we've allocated the members of staff to those individual shops and kept it that way. So, you know, there's kind of the minimizing of the risk of, you know, where they go. The only people that are left on furlough are our receptionist, who is normally here serving me my drinks, like that lad behind you, and one of the juniors. So yeah, anyone who can cut hair is back.
Perfect.
And Sam, you're going to be joining us on the 6th of September, where you're going to repeat your front cover of Modern Barber, which was the Lloyd cut. You're going to be doing that on our education format, guys. Click into the website, which is the barbersarms.co.uk to look at, and you can register now. You can actually click in and register for the education day. Myself, Gary Machin, Eric Lander, Michael Damiano, Sam Campagna, Joth, Davies. There are all these fantastic educators on the 6th of September that's going to be joining us. And Sam is going to show you how he created the Lloyd, which got the front cover of the last issue of Modern Barber. So Sam's going to be doing that.
Fantastic. And is he lead educator for Wahl?
Lead educator for Wahl. Obviously, we've done a bit more travelling together. We had a great time when we went over to Canada together, but kind of stalled a little bit. Obviously, what's happened pandemic-wise across the globe now. It's not just in the UK, it's globally that this is. And I think the message to everybody, Sam, who's got 4 fantastic shops, is I think we really need to step it up. Everybody needs to step it up again. You know, we got told in the hotel tonight that it will be masks tomorrow morning when you go down for breakfast or walking around the reception. You know, I think we've all sometimes just not slacked off, but sometimes just eased away from things. But I think, guys, what will cripple the country is if we're in lockdown in winter.
Do you think he's trying to tell me? He keeps serving me Coors Light.
I keep turning around and putting my glass on.
He's getting it mixed up. He's on Coors Light and I'm on hard stuff. What's that
I
mean?
keep turning around thinking that
That is
my
not
glass-
Rachel. That's not Rachel, Ellen, I tell you.
No. But I keep turning around thinking my glass is like from Paul Daniels. They're fucking empty.
He's trying. Yeah, I think he's saving me Coors Light. I've never seen Coors Light. Why? Have you bought that?
Yeah, I purchased Coors Lights tonight and we've got some nice cider. It's giving me a nice heartburn when we go out. I think we might have to have a few cocktails when we go out in Leeds tonight.
Sam, what you missing? What you missing now to let you know? I know we're going through all this madness. I know you're fantastic. You know, from a point of view of a professional on stage, your stage presence, education-wise, what are you missing? What's that? What you're lacking in your life at the minute?
Do you know what? Actually, the biggest thing I was looking forward to this year was kind of the plans about travelling away with Si and Wahl, and you know, seeing those people that, you know, when we had our global educational summit, you know, that I met everyone from, you know, around the world, and I was really looking forward to kind of obviously catching up and going to those countries, and obviously the brakes got put on that. So, you know, apart from, you know, the shop is kind of business as usual. Obviously, we're doing everything we can in terms of the PPE and adhering to all the rules. But that's something I really want to get back, you know, firing up again. That's like, I was really looking forward to that this year. And obviously, yeah, that alongside some events, you know, they're the things I really want to kind of get back into this year.
Do you know what? I think from, you know, a point of view when you do travel a lot, I mean, Rachel had a little bit of a sense of humour failure last December. I think we did 140 odd days a year last year, but you get almost, I mean, Simon, I know it missed it terribly. You almost get conditioned in this cycle of what you do, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's what you get used to, and then when something gets cut up, I think it's almost when somebody says you can't do something, you want it even more. You know, it's quite a bit of a strange feeling, really. But when you have that anticipation of what you could have as well, it's heightened even more. So it's a bit of a strange world at the moment, mate.
You're kind of starting, you know, you're starting that journey, and it's being stopped before, and you're kind of, you know, it does make you want it more. It does make you want to kind of go, oh, you know, I've really missed that, even though it hasn't happened yet. You know, in certain circumstances, I just want to do it more. And maybe as a positive, it's probably made me more hungrier to go and kind of do those things to a higher level. And I've had a bit more time to think about how I would approach those things when I get there again.
Okay, lots of comments, Gary. Everybody saying how fantastic your shop looks, Sam. I know
Thank you.
As well, it looks absolutely stunning. You've got a great brand alternative. It once bought me some really nice sneaker pumps as well that he deals with. A guy that has what's the what called?
7 feet apart.
7 feet apart, beautiful sneakers.
Unfortunately, they've gone into administration because of this.
Oh,
He's spending too much time abroad, isn't he? Sneakers. He needs trainers, doesn't he?
Trainers, like cool trainers, yeah.
Sneakers.
Cool trainers.
It's nice to have you on, Sam, tonight, and
it's been my pleasure.
Obviously, you spent a lot of time at work today, so to stay behind as well at this late hour, we really appreciate it. But I hope everybody's got an insight into alternative barbering. Sam Campagna, the lead educator at Wahl, super guy, super salon. Thanks for joining us tonight on Barbers.
Thank you,
everybody. Sam Campagna.
Thanks for making me walk home tonight.
Sam, it's been a pleasure, mate. Thanks for having
Cheers,
me.
gents.
Time.
As always, lovely to talk to you both.
Sam, we'll give you a drink when we have a beer afterwards.
Yeah, ta.
Some questions coming in,
Cut
guys.
off.
Tomorrow morning, and we always do this on the arms. It's like we're having a beer now with mates and stuff. So tomorrow morning, people are asking visors and masks together.
We don't have to, but clients do.
Right, okay, so but that's,
Good practice, but long time, 9 hours, having mask and visor.
Yeah.
All clients have to wear mask
so all clients have to wear masks.
from tomorrow.
Right, that's
No shaving still. 15 is going to be reviewed, shaving, but definitely masks for every client.
okay.
And masks for barbers or visors for barbers?
We've got to have visors. Masks are not mandatory, but they should be, I think. But
But there's been some things on the news recently where there's been cases in hairdressers where they've used the visors and there's been an outbreak, and there's been a couple of things. I know, I think the Express and the Mail had something on there where they were saying actually the visors aren't sufficient because everything's coming underneath and everybody's lifting them. You should be wearing masks. It's a very
at the moment,
contentious subject, isn't it?
at Joth, honestly, it's crazy from the very beginning. Couldn't believe it when we got opened up on the 4th. We thought everybody'd have to wear a mask, including ourselves. And when it came out that only visor only, you know, it's one of those. And
We from day one we made customers wear masks, and we
We
were
did,
all
yeah.
wearing masks. We tried to do visors, but we really struggled in them, working in them.
the visor from it, you know, the visors that with the foam, really hard work. But I mean, you know, if you're going to use them, you've got to use something. The ones on the glasses are quite good as well. They're very clear.
Well, we got a couple of people that were wearing masks more open for them. So I just thought if we're wearing masks and the customers wearing masks, surely that's as good, if not better than them. just
But
wearing
from a
masks.
government guidance point of view, you're breaking the laws. Shouldn't say breaking the law because it is guidance, but the only thing that was mandatory with our guidance was wearing visors.
I've got some information here that just come from one of our producers that England face coverings are mandatory for clients from the 8th of August. Scotland face coverings are mandatory for all clients and staff. Northern Ireland face coverings are not mandatory but recommended. And in Wales, get fucked. Sorry, that's all I'm joking there. For Wales, face coverings are not mandatory as well. So that's just coming. This information will be on our website as well, which is the barbersarms.co.uk, which will give you a bit more information tonight. So we are running out of time here in Leeds, and that information is going to be on the website along with some more of Gary's comments about how to keep safe, how to keep the government guidelines covered, and to keep yourself safe as well, guys. We've had some fantastic guests on Barbers' Arms tonight. It's been unbelievable again to be out live for the first time. Thanks to Johnny Barber, who's our host here, and Jamie Dunning, the store manager here. Joth Davies from Savills, and our main guest as well, Pauline Pennington as well, who's travelled over from Manchester, one of our top fans on Barbers' Arms, which she was selected out of the hundreds who asked to come in. Don't forget as well, you can register now on the 6th of September. We've got our first education day. So you've got some of the top names in the industry. Scroll down it, have a look on the website. Basically, you can see all the different cuts that people are going to be doing, the shave, everything that people are doing and happening. You can register for this on the 6th of September. That is open now to register.
It's free,
and it's
so
free.
get on there. You just got to give your details, get on there, and you'll have a full day's worth of education from some of the top guys in the industry. So
Yep, we've got yourself on.
11 till 4.
Me, I'm on.
Yeah. You're on.
Michael Damiano, British
Eric Lander.
British Barber Hall of Famer Michael, Eric Lander,
Yeah.
Sam Campagna lead educator.
Fantastic.
So, and also as well, a special thanks tonight for our main guest on the Barbers' Arms, ex-professional footballer, goalkeeping academy at G27. He's also got G27 Barber and Salon in Emley up in Huddersfield. Over 600 appearances as well as a goalkeeper at professional football level. Matt Glennon was in the house as well tonight. I think he's going to stay for a drink.
I've got to find out.
I think we're not too close.
We've got to find out all those stories if they're true.
Yeah.
You know, in the communal bath.
I'm going to pass on to
And
guys.
and everything.
I'm going to pass on to guys, but thanks for all your nice wishes last week about, I mentioned at the end of the show, from a family point of view, my mum's not being very well, guys, we've spoke about it, and we're just waiting for a bit more news. She's going to have an operation, we're a bit confused whether it will me or or not, but it's my mum who's been not being well. But you know, obviously difficult times, but you've got to keep moving forward. And I love her to death, and I can't wait to get some positive news and to move forward with that. It's not easy talking about this even, but obviously. I know she watches us religiously.
Yeah.
Every Saturday morning.
And she'd rather listen to me than a son.
She does love watching you as well. To
Loves
but
the
Mum,
dash.
I know you're watching tomorrow morning, so from me and Gaz, we're sending you all our love, and I'll be back on tomorrow, and hopefully we'll get through this.
Mum, sure, love you. Big kiss. So it just leaves me to end the show. Thank you very much to most of all. I'm going to make you drink all the Coors Light that are left because we've been serving Coors Light all night. No, been fantastic, mate. Thanks for all our great guests. Hopefully we'll have a couple of beers after. Johnny Barber, I know he's had to shoot up, but what a great host. Done this. We didn't even ask him, and he was just there for us straight away. We've got great events on that Simon's just been talking about. Hopefully we're going to be out and about again in about 2 or 3 weeks. So please, you know, get in there. Ask us where we can take you. If you've got any venues out there that we can use, be brilliant. Just one thing as well, and listen, I don't want to finish this on a low, but can I just wish Eileen Lander, who was my mentor when I first started for Habia. She's not very well at the moment, and Eric Lander, who's a great friend of ours, fellow presenter and educator, he's the best fellow in the world. Wish his mum all the very best. Eileen, she taught me 3 things. 20 years ago, started working for Habia. Great lady. She always had a wee noggin at the end of every night, so she's responsible for me having a drink after work. Great command of the English language, and she just taught me everything I know for writing standards. So her, Susan Briganti, Jericho, Maurice Lister, all that team, I'm sure our thoughts are with you. But we leave you from Leeds, a very hot and sweaty Leeds, actually. Be good. Remember your masks tomorrow, guys. We love you. Mr.
Guys,
Show.
have a great weekend. We'll see you next week on Barbers Arms. But thanks for watching. Please share. Don't forget the 6th of September, log in and get registered for our education day. But from everybody here at the Barber Bar in Leeds at Barber, from Dan, our barman, from Matt Glennon, Joth Davies, Paul Pennington, Jamie Dunning, and Johnny Barber, and my fellow host, Mr. Gary Machin. Have a fantastic weekend. See you next week.